Hey, what is good, TGG fans? Today, we have a video for all of you who are unsure of what agents to play on Bind. Bind is a map that can utilize agents that aren't strictly in the current meta exceptionally well, and we are here to show you who, how, and why. So make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive right in. Bind has been one of the best and most fun maps to watch and play on since the beta of Valorant. And with the tight choke points and angles and choices for quick rotations using the teleporters, it certainly is one of the best maps you can play on in our opinion. The question becomes, who should you play to make winning on Bind even easier? Well, here we go. The issue that the Valorant community has on their hands is that the other older and more basic agents of the Valorant roster are being outshined by the newer, flashier agents with the awesome abilities, so it is nice to see one of the most simple agents in the game make it onto the list. That agent is Sage. She is one of the staple agents in Valorant, and she is invaluable as a sentinel for preventing pushes and rotations. Whether it be by using Barrier Orb or walling off B hookah or A short, she is a really good agent to pick up on Bind. Her slow orbs are also very useful due to how small the choke points and entryways onto Bind spike sites are. They are often seen as the worst part of her kit, but she can utilize them exceptionally well on Bind to prevent any push. On the attacking side of things, Sage can wall off angles to get her team safely onto the spike sites, which all have a lot of cover on them anyways. Sage, adding to this, makes the attacking side even easier. Next up, we have another agent from the original roster of Valorant, Brimstone. This might be a surprising pick to put on the list, as we know that other controllers, such as Astra and Viper, are exceptional on Bind, but just wait. Due to how quickly you need to rotate on Bind, being able to quickly chuck down smokes and incendiaries to prevent a push or help one will come in handy almost every single round. Viper and Astra require a lot more setup for these situations, and will struggle to do it on the fly. Brimstone's ultimate ability, Orbital Strike, is great on Bind too, as he can use it in a bunch of small corridors and choke points. He can even use it in a teleporter if you know an enemy is just chilling in one. The amount of utility Brimstone offers quickly and rapidly means that he can affect the whole map from almost anywhere, and being able to rotate so quickly feeds directly into his style of play. The next agent on our list of the best agents to play on Bind is Skye, the first agent not from the original cast. Skye's utility does wonders on Bind. When we say she can abuse the teleporters on Bind, we mean it. Skye can throw her guiding light blind through the teleporter on A site to B short to gather intel, whilst defending, as well as her trailblazer too. The small and tight angles mean that her abilities can often jump out at an enemy and catch them off guard, and as Skye, you can easily just swing and grab a kill or two. The best place we recommend sending these abilities is into A showers, A short, the middle teleporter, and B hookah. Our penultimate agent on this list is Raze, the first duelist to feature. She is one of the most powerful duelist agents in Valorant at the moment, and if you can, we highly recommend picking her up on Bind. With big, open spike sites that defenders can easily cover, being a fast-moving, hard-to-hit duelist who can entry and distract enemies completely negates this. While you are bouncing all over the site and around corners, your team can sneak in and use you as the perfect distraction. Raze's paint shells are great for preventing defenders from holding tight angles, or attackers from pushing on Bind too. All you have to do is throw the paint shells into one of the many small corners, cubbies, or angles, and you're good to go. The best places we recommend are into A lamps from A short and the back of B site when attacking, and the teleporters when defending. Speaking of teleporters, you can throw your boom bot in one of them to gather intel on what is going on elsewhere, meaning that you can get some awesome intel from the other side of the map. You can also use it to gather intel in places such as A showers when defending, or B hookah when attacking. If you want to learn these lineups, we have a full, in-depth Raze lineup guide for Bind on our website and official YouTube channel too. The last pick on this list is another initiator, Sova. Being very dominant on other maps in Valorant, Sova can bring some of his intel gathering skills over to Bind. With no height limit or roof in Bind, Sova can smash it with his recon bolts and shock bolts. He can check the whole of a spike site by himself with one single recon bolt. And if you want to know where to fire those recon bolts, we have a lineup guide for Sova on Bind as well. Being able to learn lineups on Bind really teaches you how Sova works, with the bounces and charge systems of his arrows really utilizing the height of the surrounding buildings of the Moroccan map. You don't need to be checking areas such as A showers or B hookah, leave those to Raze. You instead want to be firing to the back of spike sites, or to the bottom of B short for instance. These are the kind of recon bolts that will gather you the best kind of intel. This is not to say Sova cannot scout out the many small angles and corners, but use his owl drone for that. The owl drone is great in A lamps, A showers, or B hookah, as it can just poke around the corner and spot anyone pushing. These agents are so good on Bind because there are two key ways to winning a game of Valorant on Bind, and that is by controlling A lamps on A site or controlling B site in general. This sounds ominous, but A lamps has control over both angles that enemies can get to A site from, and B site control means that enemies have to funnel and push site one by one. Even if you have planted on the attacking side, the most common way for defenders to retake is by pushing through defender side spawn in a single file, so you can just block that off and easily get the round win. That is all from us for this video on the best agents to play on Bind, so hopefully you have found a new agent to insta-lock. As we said, all of these agents can control key areas on the map, as well as gather intel incredibly. Send us in your clips of you using these agents dominating your enemies. We can't wait to see them. Catch you all next time.